Hello everyone, welcome to Science Made Easy. In the last video, we discussed about heart internal and external structure. Let us do a quick revision of the topic. As you can see, the blue portion makes the right heart and the red portion makes the left heart. The heart has four chambers. The right upper one is the right atria, the right lower one is the right ventricle, the left upper one is the left atria, and the left lower one is the left ventricle. The heart has different blood vessels and valves. Let us see the valves of the heart. The tricuspid valve is between the right atria and the right ventricle, and the bicuspid valve is between the left atria and left ventricle. The pulmonic valve and aortic valve are semilunar valves. The pulmonic valve is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, and the aortic valve is between the left ventricle and the aorta. There are different blood vessels of the heart. These include superior vena cava and inferior vena cava that bring deoxygenated blood to the heart from different body parts, and the aorta supplies oxygenated blood to the different body parts. The right and the left pulmonary arteries carry deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs, and the right pulmonary vein and the left pulmonary vein, they carry oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. Let us see the muscles of the heart. The entire heart is made up of cardiac muscles. The walls of the ventricles are much thicker than atria. It is due to the reason that ventricles are involved in pumping of blood, whereas atria are involved in receiving blood. There is a specialized cardiac musculature called as nodal tissue, which is distributed in the heart. A patch of this is present in right upper corner of right atrium, which is called as sinoatrial node, SAN, and it is also present at left lower corner of right atrium. It is called as atrioventricular node, AVN. A bundle of nodal fibers arise from AVN, forming the atrioventricular bundle. These fibers pass through the atrioventricular septa and reach the top of interventricular septa. Here they branch into right and left bundle, and many minute fibers arise from these right and left bundles and cover the entire ventricular musculature. These minute fibers are called as Parquinja fibers. Now let us understand the formation of Parquinja fibers with the help of this image. If you see here, the SAN is present at the right upper corner of right atrium and the AVN is present at the left lower corner of right atrium. The nodal fibers have arisen from AVN and they pass through the atrioventricular septa. And at the top of interventricular septa, they have branched into right and left bundles. From these bundles have arisen many minute fibers. These fibers are called as Parquinja fibers. If you see the image, the entire right and left ventricle are covered by yellow fibers. These are the Parquinja fibers. This nodal musculature of the heart has the ability to generate action potentials without any external stimuli. That is, it is auto-excitable, and the sinoatrial node is responsible for initiating and maintaining the rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. Therefore, the SAN is called as pacemaker. Now let us see how the blood circulates through the heart. Circulation in heart. To begin with, let us see the blood flow through the right part of the heart. As you know, the right heart deals with deoxygenated blood. Firstly, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava carry deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body to the right atrium. From there, it flows through the right ventricle, and from right ventricle, the right pulmonary arteries and the left pulmonary arteries carry this deoxygenated blood to the lungs. As you know, the left part of the heart deals with oxygenated blood. Firstly, the deoxygenated blood supplied to the lungs by heart through pulmonary arteries is oxygenated at lungs and is transported back to the heart via pulmonary veins. The right and the left pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood from lungs to the left atria, and from left atria they flow to the left ventricle. From left ventricle they enter the aorta, and the aorta supplies the oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body. This is how the blood flow occurs through the right and left parts of the heart. Now let us understand the complete cardiac cycle. To begin with, let us consider all the four chambers of the heart are in relaxed state, which is called as joint diastole. As the tricuspid valve opens, the blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava flow to the right ventricle from right atria, and the bicuspid valve opens simultaneously, and the blood from left and right pulmonary veins flow to the left ventricle through left atria. Here remember that the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valves open simultaneously, and the blood brought to the right atrium is deoxygenated and the blood brought to left atria is oxygenated. When the blood is being flown to the right and left ventricles, the aortic valve and pulmonic valves are closed. Now the sinoatrial node generates an action potential which stimulates both the atria to undergo contractions simultaneously, which is called as atrial systole. The atrial systole increases the flow of blood to the ventricles by 30%. This action potential generated by SAN is transferred to the entire ventricle musculature through AV and AVN bundle. This causes both the ventricles to undergo contraction simultaneously, which is called as ventricular systole. The ventricular systole is coincided with the relaxation of both the atria, which is called as atrial diastole. Due to contraction of both the ventricles, the pressure inside them increases. As a result, the blood inside them attempts to flow back to the atria. As a result, both the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves closes, preventing the backflow of the blood to the atria. As pressure in both the ventricles further increase, the semilunar valves are forced open, due to which the blood from the right ventricle enters the right and left pulmonary arteries due to opening of pulmonic valve, and the blood from the left ventricle enters the aorta due to opening of the aortic valve. Here remember that the blood which has entered the right and left pulmonary artery is deoxygenated and the blood which has entered the aorta is oxygenated. Now both the ventricles are relaxed, which is called as ventricular diastole, and the pressure inside the ventricles falls, causing the closure of the semilunar valves. As the pressure inside the ventricles further falls, both the tricuspid and the bicuspid valves are pushed open due to the pressure in atria exerted by the blood. This blood is brought to the atria by the veins. Once again, the blood flows freely to the ventricles. Now both the atria and ventricles are in relaxed state, which is called as joint diastole. Soon the SAN produces action potential, causing both the atria to contract, and the events described earlier occur one after the other in sequence. As you know, there are two prominent sounds of the heart. One is lub and the second one is dub. The closure of tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve is associated with the heart sound lub, and the closure of semilunar valves is associated with the sound dub. And one more important thing is the flow of blood through the heart is called as double circulation because the blood flows through the heart twice. That is, once it receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body, and later it pumps this blood to the lungs, and from lungs it receives the oxygenated blood, which is again pumped back to the different body parts. In this way, it receives the blood twice, that is, once the deoxygenated blood and the second time the oxygenated blood. These are the different events occurring during a cardiac cycle, and remember that systole is called as contraction and diastole is called as relaxation. Now let us see different types of circulation involving heart. The first type is pulmonary circulation. It involves heart and lungs. In this circulation, the deoxygenated blood is circulated from right heart to the lungs where it is oxygenated and circulated back to the left heart. The second type is systemic circulation. It involves different organs, tissues of the body and heart. In this circulation, the deoxygenated blood is circulated from these tissues and organs of the body to the right heart, and the oxygenated blood is supplied to the tissues and organs of the body through the left heart. The third type of circulation is the coronary circulation, which involves heart, coronary arteries, and the cardiac veins. The coronary arteries supply oxygenated blood to the heart muscles, and the cardiac veins drain away the deoxygenated blood from the heart. Here ends today's topic. If you haven't subscribed to Science Made Easy, subscribe and keep supporting Science Made Easy for more such videos. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you have found the video useful.